Documentation of RGS engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, which is evidence to the impossible light activity that's filling the apartment. If you'll recall, this is 8:56 a.m. If you'll recall, Tracy Banks pacing in and out of the apartment while RGS was gang stalking at the same venue. And the light activity of what is, again, the sunlight that's coming underneath a doorway inside of a structure, which sunlight doesn't do. It doesn't bend underneath and reach onto the inside. And then for the duration of the day, that light activity is continuously moving in this direction. I've been documented and spraying it across this couch. It's all speaking to stalking with light, which RGS is engaged in. These are sex offenders. These are gang stalkers. This is the entity that is gang stalking and monitoring evidence as well. So I want to speak to the impossible light activity that you see here. Gang stalking with the Latina female pacing out of the apartment front door in unit number 41 under what is a fake sun that is stationary in its placement over me in Los Angeles, California. Under the fake sun that is stationary while it's still here after 1:30 in the afternoon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, while RGS is still here gang stalking as well. After 12:29 p.m., like you saw, the same gang stalkers under this fake sun. AVANATH Capital Management was gang stalking with the Ontario International Airport flying over my head, audibly, is what you heard. The fake sun is directly over this same apartment building, which is, again, 3 hours from now. That's non-movement of the sun. While you walk in and out of your apartment at Unit 41, you're monitoring and you're also stalking by residents. You're doing so with the gang stalkers RGS on the venue of the property, and they were all monitoring while I'm publishing in real time the video evidence of the Ontario Police Department, whom they're gang stalking with, as I publish that video. And on the inside of the apartment, like I've already referenced, impossible light activity sweeping across the ceiling, and that is intended to psychologically harm while they monitor everything that's ongoing, including as I publish evidence. This is what RGS is a part of, while that which is not the sun is sitting idle. Okay, I'm documenting the fake sun throughout February 2024 in Los Angeles, remaining rising and setting while I stay in Los Angeles. And then I'm documenting the idle presence of the fake sun, as again I documented yesterday, the entity keeping the fake sun until sunset. This is where gang stalking is underway systematically. Banging on the hammer, doing so with simultaneity to my opening the front door, are the demon-possessed on the grounds, engaging in audible activity creation, stalking in the path, monitoring, and knowing that you're also being documented for gang stalking. All immigrants that are gang stalking are going to be deported. All right, they're doing so with AVANATH Capital Management, LYNDA Reyes, who is criminally facilitating it, and they are men, okay, males, rather, not men. These are males who are sex offenders monitoring my genitalia while they're stalking and monitoring somebody in a private space, and I happen to be a woman. This is RGS in violation of the Violence Against Women Act. They're gang stalking with the same Ontario Police Department who you saw providing evidence against them and everybody else who comes onto the grounds, gang stalking. You're not engaging in lawful landscaping under the fake sun that remains for over 9 hours over the same building in alignment to me and in engineered light. You're criminally monitoring and you're also profiting. This is why AVANATH Capital Management is being civilly and criminally prosecuted. They're in violation of the Violence Against Women Act, while RGS does so with impunity and doing so in concert with the people of the state, which is speaking to federal prison for every gang stalker. You see them engaging in the elements of monitoring while a demon hurries up to cross path under the fake sun, and they're pacing with RGS, okay? This is where you saw the fake sun at 12:29 p.m. This is the significance of having it while you create light activity. You see the fake sun at 7 o'clock in the morning. This is the significance of having it. While you see things such as impossible light appear and disappear, while you saw my shadow appear in the depths, while RGS was gang stalking, you saw it appear and disappear here. While you see the maintenance of the fake sun that moves to this end of the building and right back to remain in alliance with me, this is the significance of that. All right, and this is, again, AVANATH Capital Management, the occupants gang stalking. And you see the same fake sun after 3:30 p.m. where the same household representing the employees of AVANATH Capital Management gang stalking with impunity, knowing that it's being documented. This is P.O.C. Pacing to the laundry room is called crossing a path, and these are the ones that are exposed to minor children acting with impunity. Okay, they are sex offenders worshiping the genitalia of a woman who doesn't welcome those sort of sexual attention, while they're gang stalking with the police, gang stalking with the city, gang stalking with the airport. That's engaging in what is concentrating activity and also inside of the apartment. And this is all to psychologically harm, because I'm publishing the sex offenders, the gang stalkers, the Ontario Police Department, which you will see published moments from now. But I wanted to capture this video of the fake sun, which you already know is still here after 4:30 p.m. That's how you know what AVANATH Capital Management is doing through its employees and through AVANATH Capital Management, who is criminally monitoring with those who it's contracted with to maintain criminal presence and activity on the grounds. all right, because this is admission to that pattern of conduct. And they're doing so in concert with the hitman, Tracy Banks. This is the significance of a city, of a government gang stalking you, while you have a hitman like Tracy Banks that is close to you, that is intended to murder you. This is the criminal cooperation with the entity that is gang stalking with the intent to murder. Okay, this ongoing impunity documented, as you see the fake sun at 12:29 p.m., just one example, that is 3 hours from now. The same sun is over the same apartment building, but yet at what point in the day is going to be in Miami, Florida? That is 3 hours ahead of us, for example. It would already be in Florida at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, while it's 9 a.m. right now. And 3 hours from now at 12:29 p.m., 3.5 hours, it's still sitting here. That is requiring more than one sun. This is speaking to the malice where companies are gang stalking, where the government's gang stalking, where occupants at a facilitating venue, not a private property, are gang stalking. And gang stalking is an exceedingly violent sex offense that the entity that are full of malicious psychopaths and violent sex offenders. That's what they. All right, you saw them stalking in the parking lot with their phones as I'm documenting this fake sun that was here after 1 o'clock in the afternoon just days ago. I will reference many of these videos as you can see them at the end onto YouTube. This is the prosecution for the demons in units 33 through 64 who are going to prison, including AVANATH employees. Okay, you remember at 3:30 in the afternoon, here you go, P.O.C. You saw at 12:29 p.m., this is P.O.C. All right, and also I want to be clear, this is the ongoing evidence of what is impunity. You see at what is after 10 o'clock in the morning, the gang stalking LYNDA Reyes under the same fake sun. This is the manager, this is the employees, this is all the occupants of the employees. These are the employees, criminal co-conspirators with regard to gang stalking as they're hired to be on the grounds, and all they're doing is sharing elements of monitoring, and the specific environment is what supersedes and controls. All right, one after another walking out of AVANATH's employee's apartment. That's called pacing. Going to the laundry room, walking by that particular Latino male that works for the corrupt gang stalking company AVANATH did the same exact thing while I'm aiming my camera outside of the patio right here, the same apartment, in less than 600 square feet, and the fake sun is over this same exact apartment building at 3:46 p.m. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 7.5 hours from now, the fake sun is still here, engaging in what is pacing in real time. So this is speaking to, again, what the Ontario Police Department are facilitating, which is the city of Ontario, while sex offenders are in custody of minor children, while corrupt companies are gang stalking in plain sight, they're criminally monitoring, and this is all in violation of the Violence Against Women Act. RGS violates the VAWA Act. The AVANATH violates the VAWA Act. That's a landlord that's going to be prosecuted. Its employees are violating it, and so are the demons who are monitoring this evidence and filling this apartment that I'm inside of with some possible light activity while they're hostile to me publishing video evidence of what the Ontario Police Department did at 2:07 in the morning. Okay, while they're monitoring that evidence, you're gang stalking under an idle fake sun that's still here 6.5 hours from now. That's RGS, and doing so with AVANATH. Commercially speaking, this is P.O.C. Those sex offenders are pacing under a fake sun with intent and knowledge, and this is witnessing malice by violent psychopaths. Sexually violent psychopaths. By the way, the occupants in units 33 through 64 are all over the age of 55 while they're gang stalking. This is speaking to no innocent aspect regarding the population, okay? This is what the city of Ontario is relying on, the criminal engagement in federal group stalking and monitoring by the very population who are living under the fake sun. It is the direct evidence of what is a malicious existence, gang stalking as a part of a way of life, okay? This is, again, the P.O.C. documenting the idle light source. Crossing a path light activity, ongoing audible activity, while the screwdriver was a means of activity creation before the demon paces by. Okay, you're looking at elements. This is P.O.C. It's currently 9:04 a.m. And there is no position of the sun that would cause any of the sunlight that you see here. As I go back into the door, you're hearing the screwdriver. It's also not sunlight that's coming through a peephole. That's not sunlight. That's speaking to stalking by those in the path and intentional methods of activity. RGS commercially is going to be prosecuted, and all of its gang stalking employees are going to be prosecuted. And AVANATH is already established. I'm speaking to everybody being prosecuted with regard to, and also AVANATH's prosecution for everybody coming onto its grounds, gang stalking in furtherance of murder with the hitman, Tracy Banks. Okay, this is not sunlight, it's impossible light activity, and this remains the case as I am documenting it. Also, framing the front door is not sunlight. This is evidence of stalking by the demons who are creating activity in that specific environment, monitoring evidence and monitoring a woman, which is a violent sex offense committed by the company and committed by its employees. That's both RGS and AVANATH AVANATH Capital Management. Doing so with impunity, meaning pacing around, creating activity, and in real time while you're documenting it, as though the state government is going to tell and defy federal law, like any Unabomber going around blowing up buildings and murdering American citizens, which is a readily identifiable act of terrorism. Federal group stalking and monitoring, which is terrorism against an American citizen, while a population and a corrupt government targets one. You will not do exactly what they're doing right now, which is gang stalking, engaging in domestic terrorism with impunity in plain view. And that's why you're speaking to federal prison. Everybody living in Unit 41, including the employee who was gang stalking at 3:46 p.m. when the fake son is still here. And I'm documenting him doing the exact same thing, which is how a population is stalking you while they're maintaining elements of monitoring. Impossible light under the brick wall. Man is subject to federal prison. And how did I know there was impossible light activity? Seconds later, a vehicle drives by. That is speaking to the intent to engage in stalking in the path. That's how I knew that there was a person crossing path. Well, that's what you know when I'm speaking to impossible light activity. All right, that's the ongoing pattern. This is P.O.C. 3:47 p.m. You already know that they're all stalking on the grounds of the property, because this is where the fake sun is at 3:47 p.m., where you'll see AVANATH Capital Management gang stalking its own occupants, gang stalking with the residents, gang stalking with the city of Ontario, which is why the employees, including LYNDA Reyes, are going to federal prison. Everybody coming onto the grounds are gang stalking, and so S company and its employees, they're going to federal prison. This is impunity's repeated engagement in the pattern of conduct in furtherance of murder and kidnapping, and this foolish provision of evidence to the federal government, to a federal prosecutor, engaging in what is the documented act, what I'm documenting, speaking to obstruction of justice. Like I experienced impossible light swooping across the ceiling, dynamic, while I am publishing video about the Ontario Police, with whom RGS is gang stalking, with who AVANATH Capital Management is gang stalking, with who the people of the state living at AVANATH Capital Management are gang stalking. This is exactly what is impossible light activity, by the way, reaching underneath a patio structure. You are still looking at all the ways in which I've already shown you impossible light activity reaches into the depths of this apartment at all hours. So I want you to see the faces, because these are the faces that are going to prison. All right, this white path, gang stalking with the RGS employee while impossible light appeared on that brick wall. And then you're looking at the demon that is accountable for what is crossing path and light activity creation while that impossible occurrence is narrated in real time. It's the POC of the same sex offenders that are monitoring my genitalia. Okay, under what is a fake sun. None of that is the product of sunlight. And you also know that this is in the sun because it's still here over apartment number 41 after 3:47 p.m., which AVANATH Capital Management is also stalking me under. That's POC. All the households in custody of minor children are going to be removed from them. You've seen her gang stalking under the 11 a.m. fake sun with her kids. Communication device in hand. This is impunity. Oops, excuse me. Thank you. HCRR 100. Gang stalking, terrorism via direct light, gang stalking with AVANATH, and gang stalking with impunity. License 7N98091. Crossing path. He's monitoring while he's walking to the dumpster. And you'll see the fake sun being over me as I walk to the end of the parking lot. This is RGS. That's going to be civilly and criminally prosecuted. POC. City of Ontario is gang stalking while they're climbing in the trees. This is a means of surveillance and stalking in the path. All right. I just want to be clear. It is currently 41973W3. And here's the fake sun that's no longer over the units at the opposite end nearest the pool in a relevant position to me. And you will see it maintained. These Latino males are going to prison. This POC. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. All right, that's POC. And stalking in the path 8CRR 100. Impossible light across the underneath the covered carport. And while they're reversing, that is the classic pattern of conduct coming onto the grounds. AVANATH is being prosecuted for this, and AVANATH's employees are going to prison for it. Impossible light activity traveling across, pay attention. They do the same thing under the 4 p.m. fake sun that's still here, and the residents, as I've documented, pacing around an engineer light paces across the, moves across the parking structure. These are the demons that come onto the grounds, and this is why you're going to prosecute the landlord, you're going to prosecute the landlord's employees, and you're going to prosecute the residents with whom the landlord is monitoring. They're all doing it in concert with the state of California. And here's the fake sun that's over this same building after 12 o'clock, after 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock as I walk out, and it's going back to the opposite end of the same apartment building. This is the extent of the fake sun at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when I'm inside of the apartment capturing it through the patio glass door, and the fake sun is still here in alignment to the same apartment 41 while demons engage in surveillance in the parking lot and monitoring what I'm doing inside of an apartment, doing so on an ongoing basis as a citywide effort at what is one apartment complex where the fake sun rises and sets. 8PJV322, monitoring while that impossible light activity was moving across a brick wall. That's P.O.C. That looks like an Asian male. 8PJV322. Impossible light activity. You saw the same thing under the 4 p.m. fake sun that's merely on this side of the parking lot as I documented the people of the state and the ongoing terrorism that they are inflicting while they're gang stalking as a community. And you saw the overweight Latina walking out of apartment number 41. That violent sex offender is acting with impunity while she knows she's being documented. She walks to her vehicle, the black BMW, to monitor me. Molesting with impossible light. You saw 6YOZ533 gang stalking while driving under this fake sun after 4 p.m. as I documented in late 2024, where the fake sun is setting here. It's setting here, meaning it's on this side of the parking lot after 4 p.m. And while they drive in the parking lot, just like that demon did right now with the white van, and impossible light activity moves across this parking structure, you're understanding the pattern of conduct of stalking with light. This is how you have the impossible occurrence, this light that's streaming backwards. That's not reflection of the sun. And the sun is also documented remaining present over me in Los Angeles, California at Alvarado Gardens at this time of year and this time of day for the duration of the day, where the LAPD, like the Ontario Police Department, are gang stalking with the very population, all right, who are welcome to come onto the grounds. The designated facilitating venue, 9CZC059, is gang stalking while she walks out to her vehicle, and she intentionally does so. That's called impunity, meaning you belong in federal prison where you're going. Here's the fake sun remaining over. This is where it's at 12:29 p.m. This is where it's at 12:29, where they're pacing on this sidewalk yesterday, and 12:29, it's right over the center. It's advancing as I walk back toward the apartment. And it was just over that end while I walked toward that end of the parking lot. They're all stalking. P.O.C. And they're doing so with impunity. So that's what's noted with regard to federal prison. It is currently 9:12 a.m. Documentation will be referenced at the end of this video, so pay attention to that because the video is going to remind you about where this fake sin is still at 4, 5, 6 hours from now. And also mindful of the evidence of what I'm documenting this time of year in 2024, nowhere near the city of Ontario, living and working in Los Angeles, where the pattern of conduct is underway and a fake sun remains over me from rise until set. At any point of the day when the fake sun is shown in the sky, it's over the top of my head where it remains until sunset, which is not the natural environment. It's the evidence of everyone in that environment stalking together, and you're witnessing mental illness. All the demons in Unit 41 pacing, mama, the gang stalking mother, the gang stalking grandpa, the gang stalking auntie, pacing outside of Unit 41 while they know that I'm capturing video. That's speaking to, again, the fact that you do not want those children that you are in custody of, that you are a threat to, while you're gang stalking the federal prosecutor who is exposing the fact that you're a violent sex offender and monitoring the genitalia of another. This is also the impunity of AVANATH Capital Management, whose employees are gang stalking with impunity. That's AVANATH Capital Management's impunity. This demon is going in impossible light activity. His shadow is appearing in front of him on that white pole. This is impossible light that he's sitting in, creating noise in the path, while the voice of a child is a method of audible activity, while a fake sun just moved from one end of the building to the other, and it is maintained over me in an entirely different city and county at the same time. That's P.O.C. It is currently 9:14 a.m. The entity is going to federal prison. RGS employees, AVANATH Capital Management employees, and also the occupancy units 33 through 64. And all of this the entity is doing because of the Ontario Police that is going to be disbanded, is being published. Their video evidence, their federal crime that they committed last night, again, because they're monitoring my evidence that I'm collecting on my device in violation of the federal stalking statute. And as the people of the state are, again, monitoring my evidence in violation of the federal stalking statute, an impossible light sweeps across the inside on the ceiling, just like the demon unit number through living in units number 33 through 64. So this demon is specifically in units number 43, 47, 46, 44, because license 8 GEN 638 is the demon that's stalking in the path, just like the white Civic, while impossible light activity is sweeping across the ceiling. That's the coexistence of the elements of monitoring, dynamic engineer light and presence, while they're maintaining pacing in and out of the parking lot like demons do, just sitting around in the parking spots, pacing in and out, engaging in surveillance, driving in and out to create activity like the demon in the white van did, like the demon coming and providing a gratuitous delivery. They don't even have to actually order it, or they're engaging in what is creating such transactions and waiting until the opportune time to quote unquote deliver, which is nothing other than elements of monitoring. These are the efforts of surveillance by the City of Ontario, who is also sitting back examining and looking at, reviewing in real time evidence that's being collected. And while they do so, it's adding to the time in federal prison. This is where the fake sun is at 3:47 p.m. All of that you just witnessed was stalking on video, and it's going to be submitted in federal court to put RGS's employees in prison, to put AVANATH employees in prison, and to put the demons in units 33 through 64 in prison, which is where they belong. Gang stalking with the government directly, and gang stalking with the population with whom it's maintaining the criminal elements of monitoring and the unabated program of psychological torture on a ceaseless basis. And this is impunity while they do so in my face. This is what no ordinary targeted individual is going to be subject to. That's exactly why they're going to prison as well. It's documentation of impunity. It is currently 9:16 a.m. This is where the fake sun is remaining until sunset. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 7 hours later. The fake sun is still going to be in alignment with where I am now inside of the same apartment. That's speaking to non-movement of a fake sun, and the engineer light that you see here coding underneath a structure, which is impossible light activity. It is still here while it is then coding the same metal shelf on the same property at the same address, and you'll see the shadow of it against this patio glass door, which is speaking to impossible light activity, not sunlight, that is aimed at the opposite direction towards me, while a fake sun remains in alignment to me 6, 7, 8 hours from now, which is speaking to conspicuous stalking with the property that the entity that lives here, which is speaking to federal prison for all. P.O.C. It's currently 9:17 a.m. 9:17 a.m. The AVANATH employees in every gang stalking household, they're going to be removed from the children that they are in custody of. And while the federal government is witnessing them gang stalk an American citizen in plain sight like that, they are communicating the threat to children and the sexually violent threat that they are to children, while they gang stalk and sexually violate a woman whom they're gang stalking, and they do so with intent. They're focused on me and monitoring me while that fake sun and impossible light evidence is here and ongoing. And they do so on video, speaking to an obsession, not a priority for their kids, who are already at risk when you're gang stalking. Pay attention to that when you're looking at that gang stalking mother from Unit 41, the gang stalking grandfather from Unit 41, the gang stalking auntie or cousin, whatever she is from Unit 41. They're pacing out of that apartment, monitoring me under a fake sun. And you see them gang stalking with their kids in the middle of the afternoon after 3:30, 4:30. You see them gang stalking with those kids at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, whom they use to engage in the P.O.C. And they are also speaking to the fact that they shall be separated from them, lose custody. And this is the evidence that's going to accomplish that for the protection of such minor children who are exposed to gang stalkers, who are violent sex offenders. These are mentally unstable, mentally sick people. That is again 9CZC 9CZC059, accessing her vehicle as a means of pacing in relevant position, and also with in custody of her communication device while she's pacing under the fake sun to monitor me while she is focused on me. She's stalking by residents, and she knows every word that I'm uttering, everything that I'm documenting, including while they are aware that I'm documenting their gang stalking father. Her and her father are going to prison. So this is again the short-mindedness, all right, the psychopathic mindset and decision making of those who are threats to minor children. Okay, nobody that is a healthy parent or a healthy person is gang stalking another while you have minor children. You're maintaining this duplicitous lifestyle and identity. And such sex offenders, such criminals are going to be removed from minor children. And that's what the demons in Unit 41 represent. That's the ongoing prosecution of the entire property, by the way. It is 9:19 a.m. where criminal obstruction of justice is documented. This is what they were doing, monitoring me and intended to psychologically torture because I'm publishing evidence about the Ontario Police Department gang stalking with the same property full of demons like they did at 2:07 in the morning. This is P.O.C. It's 9:19 a.m.